This tutorial will cover appraisals as well as methods to list properties for sale.
The property appraisal. So once you've inspected the property, you'll want to go through your opinion of price with the vendor. So you'll need to provide an appraisal. So your duty is to provide evidence on how you actually reached your opinion of price. So agent's estimated selling price. This is the price that agent estimates the property is likely to attract based on their experience and knowledge of the market. If it recorded as a range, the top of the estimated selling price range must not be more than 10% of the bottom figure. So for example, a quoted range 400 to 440 is 400 plus 10%. The agent's estimated selling price does not have to be the same as the seller's asking or reserve price. If a seller has not provided an agent with an asking or reserve price, the property must not be advertised for sale at a price that is less than the agent's estimated selling price. So it's your duty to provide them with a price as what you think the home will sell for. You can do this by doing a comparative method of appraisal. So it's taking your subject property and comparing it to other properties that have recently sold on the market or what is currently for sale as well, so the current competition on the market, that are comparable to the property you're appraising. So comparable would mean same property type, similar size in terms of bedrooms and bathrooms, and similar age and condition as well. Once you have provided your appraisal, you'll want to discuss the most appropriate method of sale with the vendor. There are three methods of listing a property for sale. The first one here is tender, so offers submitted privately by a set date. The second one here is private treaty, sale by offer and negotiation. And the third one is auction, which is public sale to the highest bidder. So there are a range of factors that may influence the choice of a method of selling. So these might be the time frame for sale. So an auction, for example, may get a vendor a faster result. So I know in New South Wales they're doing even 2-week auction marketing campaigns, especially in hot markets. So these are generally faster sales than your standard private treaty. Advertising budget or the amount that the owner can afford, auctions will generally be more expensive than a private treaty campaign because you're trying to get the maximum amount of exposure in the shortest amount of time, and you're also going to have the added costs of the auctioneer as well, so that will need to be taken into consideration. Also, the actual property itself, so if the property is unique or is in quite high demand, then an auction may be a better option for you. If there's not many comparables to the home and you're not really sure what it's going to go for because it does have that maybe celebrity appeal or it's very unique in the area, then you might take it to auction to let the buyers decide how much it's worth and get some emotional competitive bidding happening on the property too. Market and buyer demand. So in some marketplaces, auctions just simply don't work. Now that might be a bit of a controversial statement. However, if there isn't enough buyer demand, and vendors and buyers may not respond well to them if they're not educated on the auction process. So it just really depends on your marketplace as well as to what the best method of sale is going to be, and also what the vendor is comfortable with. If they've previously had a bad experience with an auction, then they might prefer to do a private treaty sale or vice versa. So what are the benefits of auction versus private treaty? For an auction, you have an unconditional sale. So what that means is there's no cooling off period. The buyer doesn't have any finance clauses. They can't get out under finance. They can't get out under building and pest. At the fall of the hammer, the property is sold. With an auction, you have 3 opportunities to sell. So you can sell it before the auction, during the auction, or after the auction. So it's a 3-phase campaign. With an auction, a higher price could be achieved. Not saying that you might, private treaty sale, if you price it at say 800,000, that's not to say you won't get more than that if you have a buyer who really falls in love with it and wants to secure it. However, it's more common, obviously, to get a higher price in an auction. As soon as you price a property at private treaty, you're really capping what you're going to get for the property. Private treaty sales, however, the benefits of those could be less expensive in terms of advertising. There's no pressure, so there's no end date that you have to sell by. There's no date that the vendor has in their head. It's normally a 90-day exclusive listing that you're signing it up for, and less pressure. You can sell it to whoever you want and whatever time frame you want as well. It also may suit more buyers. So with an auction, buyers obviously have to purchase unconditionally. So there may be some buyers who can't necessarily do that. They need to get further approvals from the bank once they've found a property, or they're not comfortable with spending the money on a building and pest inspection prior to going to auction, when they might not even win the property. So you may open the home up to other buyers if you're doing a private treaty sale as well.